I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. We are on episode 2 of the Eddy named Julie, and let me tell you, there could not have been a better name for this episode. There was so much going on, and we learned so much more about the daughter, and I cannot wait to talk about it with you guys. So we're going to get into Julie and her parents. We're going to get to Julie and her coping mechanisms, and also Julie and Sim, which could be a budding romance. But before we get into all that, we're going to talk about, first overall impressions, and then we're going to get into some news and special segments. So we definitely have a great show for you guys today. And of course, I cannot do it by myself. I have our music lover, Sanaa, with me. Hello.
Hi. This episode was literally, now this is what I came for. Okay. That's all I have to say.
Yes, this is so exciting. We also have the director's #1 fan, Allie, with us as well.
Hey guys, yeah, totally agree. That was like a completely different show.
Honestly.
Yeah. So this is a great follow-up to episode 1 of the season, and I think some of our predictions kind of came true. Some of our questions were answered. So we're going to jump right into it because Julie gave us so much to talk about. And me and Sanaa were actually just talking about Julie's relationship with her parents. So we're going to dive into that first. What were you guys' thoughts about the way she was communicating with her dad, with her mom? What was that like for you guys? Sanaa, tell us what you thought.
Speechless, as you can tell. Honestly, the entire time I was like, did she just say that? She was throwing F-bomb here, F-bomb here, F-bomb here, F-bomb here. I'm like, she is dropping it like no other. I know I couldn't do that. And the entire time I just was feeling bad also for, Elliot, because he hasn't really been too much involved in her life. So it's kind of like, as a teenager, you just can't tell her what to do because now she doesn't really know. She's not accustomed to you, as if she was with you all the time or all her life. So I kind of felt bad for him. But Julie, girl, you got to watch the mouth.
Yeah, the language definitely took me aback. What did you feel about it, Allie?
Yeah, I would have had my mouth washed out with soap if I ever talked to my parents that way. I was shocked. I think the first episode, Julie was she seemed really like cool and chill. She kind of just kept to herself, did her own thing. And this episode, we saw some raw, really just a different side of her. She's a troubled kid, as we're now seeing. So yeah, the way she treated her parents was definitely a lot, but I think it kind of made sense considering the lack of obviously authoritative figures she's had in her life. She's obviously seeking love, validation from her dad, from everyone. So it was interesting. I like this episode though a lot. I liked seeing this side of her.
Yeah. So in this episode, I think at first, we assumed that she was talking to her dad this way because they don't really have the closest relationship, and we kind of learned that in episode 1. Also was using these F-bombs with her mom as well, and I thought that I thought they were going to have like a closer relationship, and we kind of learned there's a lot of that relationship as well. So how did you guys feel about the relationship she has with her mom after watching this episode, Sanaa?
Well, let's just say this much. Her mom was just, it kind of seemed as if it was just like normal behavior, I guess. Like, this is just, how she expresses herself. And I'm just like, wow. But like, it's crazy that no one has ever really disciplined her to tell her that. But then it goes back to what Allie said, if you've never had the stability and it's just always been a whirlwind of events always coming in your life. I mean, she lost her brother, which I think definitely played a big role in all of this. So, I kind of feel bad for her. I just wish, instead of 30 F-bombs, maybe 5 would do it. But I don't know. I hope her relationship gets better though.
So we also learned there's some dynamics between her mom, her stepdad, and there was something that went on with that as well. Allie, tell us what you thought when you kind of heard that backstory behind all of that that's back in New York.
Yeah, I had to rewind that moment because what did she say? Like she had her stepfather was inappropriate towards her, and there was like that whole thing. But at first, I thought she was talking about Elliot, and I was like, whoa, 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 and I had to rewind. I was like, oh thank God, because she said her stepdad. So we know that there's some family drama on that side, which kind of like what you said, Tori. I was shocked. I thought she was gonna have this really close bond with her mom and that side, just because she doesn't seem close with her dad. So I just hoped she had that bond with her mother, which now we're learning she does not. That whole scene shocked me.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that goes into why she's so troubled and seeking this, I don't know, crazy drug life and everything, as
Mhm.
well as losing her brother. I think it all just ties in. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that scene, she revealed a lot. I think she just kind of like unpacked in a very short and brief, kind of like it doesn't bother me type of way. We learned that what happened between her stepfather, and we also learned that previously she was kind of dealing with drug use and kind of came out of that for a little bit, and then she unfortunately did something to get out of the good graces of the people around her. And I think that definitely segues into our next topic, which is kind of like the coping mechanisms that she uses to try to deal with these things. And we kind of see that they're not the best coping mechanisms. In the episode, we saw that she left school and doesn't really have any intentions on going back. And she also ran away and was looking for drugs. And she also got drunk. So there was a lot going on. What do you guys think? Like, do you think these all have to tie into each other? What did you think when you saw all of this kind of unraveling as the episode went on, Sanaa?
First off, she is a freak body, okay? She is Miss Freaky Freaky because once she was drunk, I was like, whoa. She went talking very provocatively and sexually
Mm-hmm.
to him and to the guy. And when she was doing it, it was kind of like she was kind of forcing herself, like, like, just do it. And he's like, no, you're drunk. And from there, it was just that rejection. So from that, seeing the rejection happen in that way, I think it made her just spiral out and just get upset because one, she's been having a lot of rejection through life
Mm-hmm.
anyway. And then to have it again and you're drunk, it's just a whirlwind because when you're drunk or when she was drunk she wanted to probably like get away, you know and to be rejected even if you're sober and you're rejected, that seems like it really hurts, like that
Mm-hmm.
hits the ego, especially as a woman. That hits your ego a little bit, like, dang, I'm not cute. And that's when he was like, no, it's just like you're drunk. So that was kind of hard to watch. And then when she was asking for cocaine, I said, whoa.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought maybe, a little marijuana, a little
Yeah.
weed. She went straight for the gut. She went
She didn't
straight
want the
for it.
weed. Yeah.
She went straight for it. She said, give me the hardest thing you can find. And that I had to rewind because I said, did she just say cocaina or whatever, however you say it in French? I'm like, girl, Julie, sit down. But it made me feel good. The last point I'll say is that it did make me feel good that her father was looking for her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what warmed my heart because that's the part that she doesn't understand. Like her dad really does love her. It's just the things in life that have happened, it may not, sequence out that way. But I love that part that he was looking for.
Yeah, I think you touched on something great. I think, just with everybody having parents, sometimes it's hard for us to see them outside of just that
Mm-hmm.
role of like mom and dad or whatever. And I think like she doesn't, sometimes it's hard for her to see, okay, like my parents are still people. They're not always going to get it right. Nobody gets this like handbook of how to be the perfect parent. Like he's trying to figure it out just the same way that she's trying to figure it out. And I think this episode, she finally got it like, oh shoot, like just because your love doesn't look the way that I thought it was supposed to doesn't mean that it's not there. And so this episode was just a lot. But I
Yeah.
think, tell me, I don't know, this is kind of like my theory, just trying to get into her head. when she was rejected by Sim from having sex, it kind of made me feel like it directly paralleled to the situation with her stepfather, because the situation with her stepfather, she said that instead of kind of like going to tell her mother, she decided to get naked herself, and she kind of in a way was trying to like go forward with the situation or whatever, and instead of him going forward, he then told her mom when she did that. So I feel like she kind of like felt those same feelings, and in a way it was kind of triggered, like, okay, now because I don't want to do it, now you don't want to do it type of thing. So I was kind of like, there's an interesting parallel, but I don't know. So Allie, tell me what you thought when you saw all of this going.
Yeah, this is wow. I mean, there's a lot going on here just in her life. I don't even think we know half of her story yet. I still think that there's a lot we're going to find out. I agree though with everything you guys are saying. I think the rejection from Sim, which by the way, like I think he might be my new favorite character. He's awesome. He respected her. He said no because she was drinking. He could have easily just gone for it. Then he went out looking for her. I don't know. I love him. I like him a lot. But yeah, I think the point that you made, Tori, about the stepdad and how he rejected her, which by the that whole thing to me, I hope they go into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
When she said she decided to take it in her own hands and like get naked and get in the bed, I was just like, what? Like, so obviously something's off, something's going on, some deep stuff inside of her. But I think the rejection from Sim really spiraled her, and we're going to see it kind of continue for a while. But agreed, seeing Elliot's reaction finally kind of gave us all of the reassurance, like, okay, he really loves her, he really cares. Like, he stopped the band, he got up there. I love seeing that. Seeing him like fiery about something was great. So yeah, crazy episode.
And also, it was another form of a little rejection, which I felt kind of bad, because high school is hard, especially now when I look at it. You know, high school can be different, especially when you probably go to a predominantly white school and you're Black. That's always a new thing, and then you're the new kid. That's an added thing too. So when she was in school, I don't think that was the right school for her. And I don't think they really kind of like I think if they let her choose the type of school she wanted to go to, I think that would have been a little bit better. Because I know they want the best education and everything for her, but school, especially if you're transferring, is something that you should feel that you belong in. And I felt like she felt like she didn't belong. That's how she probably felt. So when, when her friend Beatrice was up here kikiing with everybody and didn't invite her in the conversation, she saw her walk up, that kind of made her feel some type of way. And she was just like, F this, I'm about to go. I know that's her favorite word, is the F word.
Right.
So she leaves out, runs, and the whole time I'm like, girl, where are you going? Because they're going to call your dad. I'm like, what are you doing?
Like, you can't just not go to school. But this all was very interesting, just seeing the way that the parents were reacting. And I have a couple questions around that. So first, we saw that Elliot ended up going to the police, in hopes of finding his daughter, but he also brought the kind of like shady information with him as well. Do you guys think that was the best decision? Like, do you guys want him to hand over the information? Do you think that like it could cause him more damage than good? Like, how did you guys feel about that? Because I was on the line. Allie, what did you think?
I wish he did it right away. I wish he didn't wait, because now it looks a little like he looks a little shady, a little sus. But I'm glad he did. I think it could get him in trouble for sure. But I do think in the long run, like, honestly, is always the best policy. And right now, he is actually worried for his daughter's life. And these guys are obviously capable of killing if they're the ones that we think killed, what's his name?
Fareed.
Yes. But yeah, so I think he did the right thing for sure. Anything he could do at that moment to protect his daughter, I liked seeing. If he didn't share that, I would almost be mad at him. So I think as like the lead and the protagonist in the show, I was happy to see him share that, even though it could be not pretty. But hopefully,
he's trying to find his daughter. So it's like he doesn't know for sure these people took her, but he knows, like, look, this is some information I have. If I don't tell, then they will keep my daughter if they are even the ones who have him, which would be the biggest plot twist if they don't even have her. But it's kind of like, like I'm with Tori. I'm on the fence because it's like, if he does tell, then the streets are gonna look at him as like probably, a rat. And that can cause even more problems. Like, what if more people, because they're not gonna arrest these people right then and there. So it's kind of like all of this, it's all for his fault.
True.
It's all his
fault.
It's all his fault.
It
How
is
you gonna
all his
die?
fault.
We didn't see the funeral either. So I guess we're
and then it's like at least tell me what happened so I could, like, if something were to happen to you, I at least know a little bit of something. Elliot has no idea what type of dirty work he was doing. He even said himself, he said, I don't even know what these papers mean. I don't know if this is illegal or not. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to tell y'all all that I know. Like you said, all I do is sit here, write the music, and eat my salad. That's all I do. All this other book stuff, the business, like, that was all of his doing. And it's unfortunate because, like, the minute that he hands over the information, it's almost like his daughter being missing is overshadowed. Like, it just doesn't even matter. And he's desperate. It's the middle of the night. It's probably like 2 a.m. He's looking for his child. And the minute that he brings out these papers, now the police is like so concerned with that and writing their own narrative of what they think possibly could have happened and if he has anything to do with it. And it's like, this man is practically begging you to just do something to find his daughter, but all you care about is these papers. So, like, I wish that it's like, I don't necessarily wish he brought him up sooner because I feel like they would have created their narrative either way. But I feel like trying to present that information and look for his daughter probably wasn't like the best time because it didn't seem like they did anything to help, honestly. Like, Sam was the one that found her. So it was like, I mean, what is everybody else doing? Because clearly y'all weren't looking in the right spot, especially like for Sam to just have met her, you know what I mean? And already knew where to find her. It's like, okay, so clearly nobody else is paying attention. But it does bring me to my next point, which is the relationship or budding relationship between Julie and Sim. We kind of saw like them just hanging out in the club, catching each other's eye. That sounds so weird, like hanging out in the club, but they were at the place, just catching each other's eyes. She helps him deliver sandwiches and like coffee throughout this office building, and they kind of grow this budding relationship. And at the end, he's like, you know what? You got a lot going on, and I don't want anything to do with it. But how did you guys feel about this possible romantic, arc in the show, Allie?
Yeah, again, I love Sim. I think it's not often that you see young male characters in shows, well, sometimes, but he behaved in just the appropriate way. And she does have a lot of issues. And I think we could see that in his face when they had their first conversation while at the park while she was eating ice cream and telling, like, it just came out of nowhere. She brought up that conversation to stepdad and mom, and you could just see the look on his face, like, wow. I think that he cares for her, definitely, because he wouldn't have gone looking. I think he does like her because he respects her. And I think we're going to see more from them. I have this feeling that he's going to like help her maybe get over all of her drug issues and maybe she needs a therapist. I don't know. There's just a lot, but I like them. I do like them. I like Sim a lot.
So now are you rooting for them?
Yeah, and I think we all deserve one. Like, we all deserve
we all deserve a Sim.
Okay.
Yes.
We all deserve one. And I think, it was a lot when she exposed all of her, history towards him. But I think she was doing that so then to kind of warn him and let him know, like, this is just, look, I'm gonna lay all the cards out. And like, if you still messing with me after it, because it's a lot that comes with it. You're going to go on some adventures. You're going to chase me. It's going to be a lot going on. So as long as I let you know, then it's kind of like that. I think that's me. I'm just guessing here, guys. I think that might be her.
I don't know. Way. Like, I think the way they introduced it, like, that's definitely going to be, her romantic interest if this thing continues. But a part of me, I'm not going to lie, you guys, like, a part of me does not want this to happen because I feel like Sim, like, has a really good grasp or a mature grasp on, like, the world and where he's at. Like, when he was breaking it down to her, like, I just put my life on the line. I was ready to fight for you. I was like, I came out in the middle of the night looking for you. Your dad nearly broke my head off my shoulders. Like, all of this has happened and you're sitting here laughing and thinking that that this is no big deal. And I can see how, like, yes, it is good to be like, upfront and like tell people what it is before they get into it, because heaven forbid they were like dating and then he found out. But I think it's like a lot to try to take that on when obviously like Sim has his own thing going on. Like, he's only raised by his grandmother. That's only like family that we've really seen besides his brother. We know that he depends on himself for money and stuff like that. And I feel like what she has going on, it's like, girl, okay, a lot of people have a lot more problems than chasing you around at 2 a.m. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't want Sim to get hurt trying to help someone else when he's also trying to help himself. But at the same time, that might be just like me thinking too deep into it, because this is also a show. So, but like Ali said, he might be the person that is able to kind of like pull her out of that place and kind of like help her get a grip on what's going on. Because honestly, she just went back to the house and was like, Dad, I don't know where you're at. Your father was out looking for you.
As per usual. I was like, oh my gosh, stop. Oh,
yeah, still being sassy. You know what? She gets on my nerves. She gets on my nerves.
Me too. I agree. I don't think she knows what kind of love, like she just thinks it's with drugs or sex, and that like just attention to her means love. I think it's going to be a quick wake up call because her dad does love her. We know that. But he shows it differently. And now Sim may love her, have feelings, but it's not all about, you don't have to throw yourself at someone. You don't have to be this open book all at once. Like, get to know each other. He respects you. And I'm ready for her to just like have it. I don't know. I want the dad to just like, I don't know, yell at her. She has to go to school and she needs to stop doing drugs. Like, I feel like a parent, but I just want someone to help her.
Because if you don't go to school, you're gonna have to. I mean, in life, a lot of things are like you're either gonna do it on the front end of things or the back end, but at the end of the day, you're still gonna do it. So it's like, if you don't go to school now, baby girl, what you gonna do when I mean, come on. You're gonna be in your 30s or 40s, and it's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying, in your 30s and 40s, you don't really, I know I don't want to be studying. I don't want to study, so just get it over with and at least get your high school diploma. Like, I mean, you're in high school. And at this point, if you don't finish high school, you'll only have an 8th grade diploma, if they even gave you one.
Yeah.
So it's like
exactly a moving up certificate.
Right. It'd be different if she wanted to drop out of school to like pursue her clarinet dream or passion, or like if she had a reason. But to just run around and do drugs and like, she needs to be in class.
Speaking of that clarinet, Allie, speaking of that dang on clarinet, she made me so upset when she wanted to bring that clarinet out at the end and start playing it as if it means so much to her. Girl, the only reason why you playing that little clarinet is because you know that something might have happened to your daddy looking out for you. And then, and now you want to be all sentimental with the clarinet. You wasn't even feeling it. So what's going on? I don't know. She just needs to kind of get it together. But I feel for her. But at the same time, it's just like,
I just like want to hug her and like shake her at the same time.
Yeah. And so this is something, first of all, I was already shook when like she was walking to school in the first place, because I thought this was like a short-term visit, because we already know that her and her dad don't have the best relationship. When they was walking her to school, I was like, oh, you're staying for a while. Okay, why? Like, you don't need to be out here in a place you don't know. But also something that has been quite interesting is that seeing the parallel between her father's house and her mom's house is like, especially because they live in New York, and I think all of us know that living in New York is not that's a pretty penny. Like, you are getting a lot, like you have to put in a lot to get any sort of bang for your buck, to get anything beyond the closet size. So to see like the way that her mom is living versus the way that like they're living in Paris, I was like, there's a lot that happened. Because in the first episode, he was saying that like his ex-wife took him for everything that he had, and I was like, well, baby, I can see, because that house is nice. Like, to be in New York, that house was nice. It has a second floor, like she was living. And then you come in Paris, and I was like, ooh, your mattress is like on the ground, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I was like, you can definitely see that like there's a difference between the two, how the two are living. You know what I mean? And I was like, there's a lot of layers here. But
good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we move into like what we think is going to happen, Sanaa, can you please give us some good news that you have for this episode?
Yes. So, everyone, I know you're probably wondering, with the musical background of things, in episode 1, I told you guys all the music is live. And in fact, to make you guys feel even better about the live music, Amanda Steinberg, she, who plays Julie in the episode, she is the one who also plays violin in real life. So yes, and she's not like just a twinkle twinkle little star violinist. She knows how to get down.
Wow.
So you guys should definitely head over to Instagram. I'm gonna post a video after this show, and you guys can see her play. It's amazing and it's so beautiful. So that's my news for
I
this
love
episode.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so cool how like every character has some sort of musical background, especially now that we know the music is live. It's like, wow,
Right.
y'all really know how to play. Clearly
Yeah.
I cannot be casted because I don't know how to play.
It makes it so authentic. Yeah.
It really does. Like, that's super interesting. And we have a nice special segment brought to us by Allie. So go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so we're going to call this special segment the Moonlight Moment now, just because it sounds better. Based off the 2017 Oscar mix-up where they called out the wrong winner between live. There were truly so many moments. I'm going to share one that isn't obviously as prominent as those moments and all that we learned from Julie this episode, but I was shocked just right off the bat from the very beginning, and maybe you guys saw something I didn't, but with Beatrice, I want to go back a little bit. I was shocked how rude she was to Beatrice. Like, Beatrice came up to her, was so nice. She could have just had a friend, like, right there. And she completely just chose not to have a friend on her first day of school. Like, she didn't give it a chance at all. But yeah, I thought the whole Beatrice moment, that just made me sad. And I was like, girl, what? No, you could have a friend.
That's probably why she didn't invite her to talk in their little circle.
Right, because she was rude.
Yeah, and it
part
was like weird because after, she turned her down to be her friend, it's like after that, the next day, she was surprised that she wasn't talking to her. Like, girl, you already just gave her this cold shoulder and now you want her to talk to you again? I'm confused. Like, that's not how that works. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to play out as well. I mean, it might just stop there, but I think it definitely showed us that she's not really, the most easiest person to get along with. So that'll be interesting. But now, as we close out the show, it's time for our predictions. Okay. So, Allie, what do you think is going to happen in the next episode?
I think, man. Oh, there's so much. I would like to see Elliot kind of give it to Julie a little bit, like yell at her, let her have it, ground her maybe. Take her phone, send her to school. I don't know. But then also
send her to school.
Send her to school, but like get deep with her. Like, she's obviously really troubled. I'd love to see them just have like a nice nice father-daughter connection. So I'd like to see their relationship grow more. I think it'll only help Julie as a teenager. I think Sim is going to continue to, be present, but give her the cold shoulder a little bit, which I think will only make her want him more. And yeah, so those are just some little thoughts.
So now, what do you think?
I think in the next episode, I think Elliot is going to be accused of all of this mess. And I think they're going to, because you remember we saw his phone in a little baggie. So at the end, so I think they probably have already caught him and think that it's him who's been doing a lot of shady stuff. So I think they're going to try to arrest him or, really try to nail him to all of this.
Wow, yeah.
I agree.
So messed up.
I definitely think something is going to happen there, and they're going to put all of Fareed's mess onto him. Like, he's going to be the one that gets taken down for it, which is going to be so unfortunate because it's not his fault. And I also saw that, like, each episode is the name of a character, which I didn't know before, but I think that's going to be interesting. So we'll definitely get to unpack a lot more characters that we were introduced to in the first episode. So that'll be interesting. But before we leave, please, please, please tell everyone where they can find you on social media. So now, where can they follow you at?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at IAM_SANA_ and on Twitter at IAM_SANA.
Yes. And Allie, where can they find you?
Yes, you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Alexandra James.
Yes, you guys can find me on Instagram at Toxic Model or on Twitter at Tori with 2 E's. And of course, check us out. Look at some of the other panels that we are a part of. Click around, you have some free time, and we'll be back here at 5 p.m. today to discuss episode 3. So definitely put us in your calendars. Until then, leave us a comment and we'll see you at 5 o'clock. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.